Sample 35 is a hand slip stitch hem. The description of the hand slip stitch hem is that it is a durable and almost invisible method of sewing a folded hem edge. This is used when you are hemming something that you want the stitching to be as not visible as possible. And now I will show you how to complete the hand slip stitch hem. You will have a single thread threaded on your needle, knotted at one end. Your hem has the 1/4 inch folded over, which is known as a clean finish, and then you have the width of your hem that you have decided on. Again, always a good idea to either baste your hem or pin your hem in place so it stays precisely where you want it as you sew. This hem is worked from right to left. And again, we want to make sure that the knot is not visible, so we will bring it up through the fold and the knot is behind the folded fabric. When you do the slip stitch, you take a very, very small stitch in the fashion fabric, and then you take your needle down. We'll pull that through. The next stitch, the stitches, there you go. It's buried in the fabric, so the stitches are inside the fold and not visible. Then you would come up and take a very small stitch in the front of the fashion fabric. And again, you would take your needle down and put it right through the fold so that the stitching is hidden inside the fold of the fabric. Now that I've taken a couple of these stitches, let's pull the thread tight and we'll see it disappear. So you can see when you have pulled it up, the stitches are barely visible. And on this side, again, if you've used the right color thread, you would barely see the little stitches. When you are doing the slip stitch, it is very important that you take very small stitches through the front of the fabric, and then with one move, once you start sewing, you can go right into the fold, come up, go into the front of the fabric, just a few fabric yarns, go into the fold, come up, and you continue down until you get to the end of your thread. Oops. And there is a knot. Easy to fix. So now I have slip stitched my hem. We can see a little bit of stitching because I used white thread. This is the back of the garment. On the front of the garment, again, you have a very even row, evenly spaced stitches, very small stitches in the correct color thread that would hide the stitches even more. When you've reached the end of your thread, it's time to knot off. And again, the easiest way to knot your thread is to go through the loop, hold it down with your thumb so that that knot ends up right there where the stitching ends. And again, we want to bury the thread, it is called, and that is simply taking your needle and putting it under, putting it into the fold so that your thread is inside the fold of the fabric. You pull it through, you cut your thread, and there's no visible knots.